Hello, good evening. You're watching News Live on GBC News and on GTV. We're also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Simiela Korte.
And my name is Jonathan Thompson. Now let's jump straight into the stories. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says the government is constructing a new public university for local government at Akumadan, the Offenso North District capital in the Ashanti region. This is part of the national effort to develop human resource and build capacity in local governance.
In addition to this, government is presently expanding the infrastructure at the Institute for Local Government Studies in Accra, also for capacity building for people at the local governance level to enhance decentralization in the country. The Vice President was speaking in Kumasi at the opening of a two-day conference of the National Association of Local Authorities of Ghana. We'll bring you the details later.
Carrying on, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, has frozen all assets of the late Chief Executive of the Forestry Commission, Mr. Kwadwo Owusu-Efiye, also known as Sir John, for suspected corruption offences. It is one of the measures adopted as part of ongoing investigations into how the late Forestry Commission Chief Executive acquired those assets.
Once of a press statement by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, on 26th of May that it had commenced full investigations into the alleged improper and unlawful acquisition of 4 parcels of specified and unspecified acres of land in the Achimota forest, which the late politician bequeathed to some named persons. On May 2022, it came to light that the will of Sir John contained some parcels of land at the Achimota Forest Reserve and the Sakumono Ramsar site. The will also had huge sums of money in both his local and foreign accounts. Last month, the Office of the Special Prosecutor served notice that it had begun full investigations into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in the alleged and unlawful acquisition of state lands at the Achimota Forest Enclave and the Ramsar site by the former Forestry Commission Chief Executive. A statement signed by the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Kisi Ejabeng, indicates that Sir John and some other persons will be investigated. The Special Prosecutor has urged the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to fully cooperate with the OSP in the investigations, since they will play an important part in the probe. The decision to launch the investigation follows the publication of a will purported to be by Sir John and government's pledge to protect the forest reserve in Achimota. The 10-page document has been circulating on social media.
The Minority Caucus in Parliament says it is disappointed at a letter that has come to their knowledge indicating allocation of funds to the National Cathedral project from the Ministry of Finance. Speaking to the Parliamentary Press Corps, the MP for North Tong, Mr. Okujato Ablakwa, said this is contrary to what the President claimed a while ago, that the building of the National Cathedral is a personal project. The minority says they have filed 3 questions in respect to the matter.
31st of March 2022, and it is addressed to the Controller and Accountant General. Authority is hereby granted to you to release the sum of 25 million Ghana cedis as additional seed money to the National Cathedral Secretariat for the construction of the National Cathedral for part payment of outstanding claims for Rebate Limited. The payment should be effected to the account detailed below. You will recall that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has said time without number that the National Cathedral project is a personal pledge that he made to the Almighty, and he has sought to mobilize reverend ministers, pastors, and the Christian fraternity. This letter is exposing the lack of sincerity, the duplicity, and the deception. This letter is confirming today that contrary to the claims by the President, the National Cathedral project apparently is being heavily funded by taxpayer resources. As we speak, NAPCO trainees have not been paid for more than 7 months. National service personnel are owed. School feeding caterers are agitating. Government owes national health insurance more than 2 billion Ghana cedis. So if you have all of these challenges, obligations that you are not able to meet, how is it that you are releasing these fantastic sums, these staggering amounts of money to companies that have not gone through due process so far as the procurement laws are concerned? You don't even have approval from this house. God will not be pleased that first of all you are building a cathedral based on lies. We are demanding immediate answers from the finance minister. Today, we have filed urgent questions. The Honorable Kwame Agboja and I have filed 3 urgent questions on this matter.
The minority members on the Parliamentary Committee on Lands and Forestry are demanding for government accountability on the state lands acquired and their use. On Thursday, the team told the media that they had asked that the Minister for Lands comes before the committee on Tuesday to answer questions on the issue.
Aware of the Achimota land issue. Whilst we are still thinking about it, other issues are coming up. Our lands in Kumasi and other regional capitals. These concerns have gotten to the point that we think that we need to talk about it, we need to investigate them, and we need to get the minister to respond to issues that we are bringing up. We have already signaled to the minister to come before us, the membership of the Committee of Lands and Forestry, to explain to us the circumstances under which government is finding it compelling to give out lands that it has acquired years ago. We hope that the minister is coming along with Forestry and Lands Commission so they can respond to issues and questions that we have before them. The Ghanaian public is anxious, very much anxious, to know exactly how we are reserving our lands, especially those that are under reserves, how we are keeping state lands, and how eventually they'll have effective use to make sure those lands become of essence to the development of the state. On Tuesday, we are going to have the minister come before us and explain all these circumstances. We will ensure that the best is done for us.
The Ghana Highway Authority is to construct a way bridge on the Tema Beach Road. The 1.2 million euros project will be funded by the European Union. The authority has therefore begun a stakeholders forum to ensure a smooth take-off of the project.
Ministry of Rails and Highways, through the Ghana Highway Authority, controls axle loading of vehicles and enforces compliance with gross weight and dimension limits laws. Axle load control involves activities carried out to ensure that all vehicles of gross weight 3.5 tons and above comply with the prescribed axle load gross weight and dimension limits. This is to help preserve the lifespan of road pavement and infrastructure. The Tema Motorway Axle Load Station, the closest to the Tema Port, checks overloading of transit cargo vehicles traveling to neighboring countries. However, some truck drivers who intend to dodge the way bridge on the Tema Motorway ply the Tema Beach Road. This has caused frequent damage to portions of that stretch, which is currently under construction and being modified into a dual carriage road. To protect the lifespan of the road, the Ghana Highway Authority says it will construct a way bridge on the newly constructed road. The authority is therefore engaging traditional leaders, municipal assemblies, staff of Shippers Authority and GPHA and other stakeholders to discuss challenges associated with weighbridge stations and tracks on the host community. Some stakeholders were worried about issues of sanitation and security that the area may be exposed to. The head of freight and logistics at the Ghana Shippers Authority, Mr. Fred Esiedu Date, said there is the need for enforcement of the law to ensure transit truck drivers transport permissible load.
On our side, we are ensuring that shippers and truckers are adequately sensitized, but it behoves also on all the other institutions, to ensure that, when trucks are loading from whichever facility, they are loaded within the limits.
The Director of Road Safety and Environment at the Ghana Highway Authority, Mr. Joseph Achu Amejake, mentioned that the authority is amending the law on axle load policy to make it punitive enough.
It's just very important that we preserve the investment that the government is making by controlling axle load applications on the road to ensure that the road can last for its design period. Actually, if you invest in a road and the road fails prematurely, it means that you have thrown down their investment down the drain.
The construction of the Tema Beach Road weighbridge is expected to commence in July 2022 and complete in 12 months.
The Savannah Agricultural Research Institute, SARI, of the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, has developed a biofertilizer for legumes which significantly reduces cost of production with the same impact on crop yield like chemical fertilizer. The scientists extracted and developed the rhizobium bacteria from leguminous plants, which is applied to crops to enable nitrogen fixation. On a visit to a demonstration farm, it was realized that the crops that received the rhizobium treatment performed as well as those that had chemical fertilizer application. SARI is therefore urging farmers to adopt the innovation to boost yields and improve food security.
Prices of chemical fertilizer have increased sharply in recent times. The ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine is worsening the situation, creating a shortage of chemical fertilizer. This is pushing many farmers beyond reasonable levels of cost of production. Most peasant farmers in the northern region say they have cut down their acreages to cope with the rising cost of chemical fertilizer. The development of a biofertilizer at SARI is therefore welcome news for farmers in the area. A research scientist at SARI, Dr. Edwin Akle, who led the field demonstration, say they are excited about the innovation.
Now we are encouraging farmers to use the rhizobium inoculant in the sense that we know currently the price of the mineral N fertilizer, especially urea, is around 500 Ghana cedis. So the urea performs a role that is similar to the use of the microbia, the rhizobium inoculant. So that is why we want them to adopt the technology.
The initiative forms part of a European Union-funded project which aims to increase productivity and reduce the incidence of malnutrition in the northern region. The project is being implemented across 8 districts in the region. Farmers here have welcomed the development, saying it will boost food security among smallholder farmers.
Looking at the seeds have grown more than the other ones. And then the sticks too. If you look at the sticks, it means that it has a lot of nutrients in it. So we have decided to adopt this rhizobium fertilizer to our plant.
I can see that with the application of the technology, that's the rhizobium fertilizer, we can get more yield. And the sticks too, if you look at it, it has grown fat as compared to the other ones. So with the application of the technology, you can yield more seeds.
Guests on GBC Breakfast this morning denounced the alleged intention of the Fix the Country campaigners to stage another protest, this time with their own private security guards carrying weapons. The Ghana Police Service on Wednesday issued a press statement in response to an alleged letter sent to the service by the Fix the Country group informing them of their intention to organize another demonstration.
That some people are saying they are going to do some demonstration, but that they will employ armed security.
It ties into what we're talking about. Yeah, so
yes, seriously. Let's not any politician, I'm saying this with all my honesty, let's not any politician support, encourage this. Let's not any politician support this. You see, because the evil of it will bounce back when you are in power.
Young men should not forget themselves. Sometimes they get so psyched up and they make statements without thinking. And I keep saying emotions have no internet. We should be able to make statements that will not undermine the very thing we are doing. Why are we demonstrating? They are demonstrating because they are not happy with something. But if they are going to be demonstrating in violence, then violence will meet violence, and that will be a crash, and that will be anarchy, that will be a mess, that will be a situation that we don't want in Ghana.
The police service declined protection for persons planning to picket at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and the police headquarters in Accra. The protesters intend to contract a private security company to protect them during the three-day protest starting on June 4, 2022. But the police in a statement said the nature and character of the demonstration as intended is inconsistent with the Public Order Act. Here are excerpts of an earlier interview with Dr. Prosper Ninote Ado, a security analyst.
To embark on demonstration, it's a right, a human right, under the Constitution of Ghana. And a group of people can request to go on demonstration. But in doing that, as we all know, it must conform to the rule of law. We have a Public Order Act, and that stipulates how to go about it. Generally, you have to engage with the police. You have to inform them, discuss the route you want to use, the purpose for the demonstration, and all that. Now, they would have to then review your request and give you the go-ahead with the requisite protection for you to be able to embark on that demonstration. You may or may not embark on it, depending on what comes up in your request. The issue we're talking about currently has some problems. And so when I read the police statement, I wasn't surprised, because I think that the intention to embark on the intentions to embark on the demonstration is right, but the means by which they want to employ to do that is questionable. Nobody goes on a demonstration and requests to use his or her personal protection. That becomes something else. And so, under the circumstances, I think that the police did the right thing to come out with that statement. And for those who are intending to demonstrate, to again go back and decide whether or not they originated that letter and how they want to go about this demonstration.
The police have arrested 25 people in WA for attempting to forcefully secure the release of 3 suspects who were in police custody for flogging the victims in the WA viral video. The 25 suspects were part of a mob who besieged the WA police station on Wednesday, June 1, 2022 to demand the release of Sadiki Usman, Bushiran Kige and Isahaku Mahama, who were arrested earlier in the day and were in police custody. The irate mob pelted the charge office and adjoining offices with stones and other implements. In a statement, the police explained that the youth also set vehicle tires ablaze on some major streets in the municipality. The statement further says the suspects and others who will be arrested in the course of investigations will be put before the court to face justice.
With inadequate beds, students at Yeboah Ishama Senior High School in Insuta in the Techima municipality of the Bono East region settle on the floor amid congestion. Almost all the students in the school who fell sick were diagnosed of malaria because they are unable to use their mosquito nets since they have no beds. Our Bono East regional correspondent Samuel Ayama has more in this report.
Yeboah Esiama Senior High School was established by the chiefs and people of Nsuta in 2011 as a community-day senior high school and subsequently absorbed by government in 2013. Currently, there are 626 students in the school. Authorities say with the introduction of the free SHS policy, population has increased without a corresponding increase in infrastructure, and this remains a major challenge confronting the school. When GBC News visited the school, the teachers were using a pavilion they constructed as a staff common room, while the students were also using a pavilion constructed by the residents of Nsuta as a dining hall. With no beds, all the students lie on the floor. Some of the students told GBC News that malaria is common from frequent mosquito bites.
We don't have beds. We don't have place to hang our mosquito nets. We lie on the floor. I fell sick and I went to the clinic yesterday. And because we don't have good bells and mosquito nets.
Speaking to GBC News, the divisional chief of Nsuta, Nana Owusu Amiyao II, appealed to government to come to their aid.
Now the children are many, so our appeal to government to come and help us, that we can get some dormitories and staff bonus.
The headmaster of Yeboah Esiama SHS, Mr. Kofo Abdallah Khalid, complained about the lack of dormitories, staff bungalows, classroom blocks, dining hall, beds, and administration block.
The most urgent challenge that we have here is the boys' dormitory and the classroom.
A rented apartment serves as the school's girls' dormitory. The school authorities also complained about the bad roads and difficult movement, especially when it rains. For GBC News, Samuel Ayama, Nsuta.
The Chief Executive of Water River Authority, VRA, Mr. Emmanuel Entridakwa, is urging the current management of the Akosombo International School to be innovative in training their students to find solutions to societal problems. Mr. Entridakwa encouraged the school's management to make AIS remain the preferred school of choice and relevant in the educational sector in the next 60 years. He was speaking at the launch of the AIS 60th anniversary in Accra.
Akosombo International School AIS was established in 1962 to provide education and educational facilities at the kindergarten and primary levels for the children of expatriates constructing the Akosombo Dam. On completion of the dam in 1966, the school was open to all children whose parents worked with VRA. A secondary education department and additional facilities were later added to accommodate more students. Launching the anniversary on the theme AIS at 60, Educating Tomorrow's Leaders Today, the CEO of VRA, Mr. Emmanuel Entridakwa, said the school has partnered the authority in diverse ways to enhance the ethos of VRA by supporting the energy conservation campaign in 2020, which received international recognition.
VRA, as a responsible mother, and this is to all women here, has nurtured the school over the years to serve the nation and the international community. So over the 60 years, the school has partnered VRA on many fronts to enhance the ethos of the authority.
The rector of the Ghana Institute of Journalism and an alumni of the school, Professor Kwamina Kwanza Edu, advised the students to...
Our students, our future leaders, must be armed with an incorruptible ethical status quo that will help them navigate the veritably venomous snake pit of corruption that has become our Ghanaian society.
The headmaster of AIS, Mr. Julius Kogde, said since the school was birthed in 1962, it has produced distinguished personalities including Hajia Semira Baumia, the wife of Vice President, and Mrs. Shirley Ayoko Bochie, the Minister for Foreign Affairs.
We will therefore be very grateful if parents, old students, and friends of the school could individually or collectively mobilize donations donations in cash or kind, or any project that could contribute to expand or modernize AIS.
AIS video on urban living, sustainable cities and communities won a global award this year. This adds to the many awards won by the school, including Music Awards, Microsoft Awards for Teaching and Learning, Presidential Awards in BECE, and Best International School Games.
You're still watching the News Hour on GBC News. We take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hello, let's do business. Brought to you by QNet with me, Esther Edu Ohumeu. The global market for remote IT services such as business process outsourcing is set to exceed $200 billion by 2026. This, according to the Executive Director of the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana, Mr. David Gowu, presents opportunities for tech entrepreneurs in Africa to explore. Process outsourcing entails delegating part of business operations to a third party at a fee. The arrangement allows firms to rationalize costs and remediate difficulties such as shortage of skilled staff. Demand for BPO services has remained strong in recent years, presenting opportunities to ICT professionals. Leveraging the prospects to tackle unemployment in Africa dominated discussions at the 2022 Tech Entrepreneurs Forum in Accra.
For example, our passport processing, anything that requires a group of people to work for another organization remotely is something we need to promote. And to do that, we think that bringing industry players, bringing government institutions together will help us have a better conversation about the opportunities and then how to tackle the challenges to ensure that we take advantage of the opportunities that are in this space. Countries like India, countries like Philippines, they have effectively managed this remote service delivery, and now they are employing a lot of people, a lot of the young people, and we think Ghana has a favorable environment to be able to do that as well.
The Chief Executive of Teleperformance, Mr. Lars Johansson, commended Ghana for promoting digital literacy but called for targeted ICT education to become the region's tech hub.
We have a very skilled young population in any of the different applications and different cloud environment tools that we need to have. Some people are not aware of that one. So let's raise our voice a bit, all of us, and make sure that people becomes even more aware of it, because this continent, and particularly Ghana, has a very strong capability to do a lot more here.
The two-day forum called for collaboration between IT professionals and academia to help equip students with employable skills. In a perception index survey, the National Insurance Commission has concluded that about 78% of respondents sampled have knowledge about insurance. From the survey, 16% of respondents have minimal knowledge about insurance, while 6% know nothing about insurance. In an exclusive interview, the Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Justice Ofori, said the more people know about insurance and its benefits, the better their understanding when purchasing insurance policies.
This is the third phase of the NIC's Insurance Perception Index for 2021. The first phase of the Public Perception, Awareness and Confidence Index was conducted in 2019 in conjunction with the GIZ. In 2020, the NIC proceeded to conduct the second round of research with regards to the same indices as a way to keep track of progress. So, the third round of research forms the basis for the current study. The Consumer Confidence Index, CCI, is the degree of optimism about the state of the economy that consumers of services, such as insurance services, are expressed through the activities of saving and spending. The recommendation stated herewith will support NIC's ongoing intervention programs to shore up public confidence and awareness of insurance in Ghana post-COVID-19. In an exclusive interview with the Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Justice Ofori explained what the survey means to the insurance industry.
For us, it's good news. Previously, people would talk about banking and other things, but they wouldn't mention insurance. The more people know of insurance and its benefits, it also encourages them to actually purchase one or two insurance, protect themselves. But when we talk of insurance penetration, there are other factors that come into play. Coming into the GDP basket, and they're more potent than insurance, definitely we must see a higher penetration. Not seeing a higher penetration does not mean insurance is not doing good.
On recapitalization of insurance companies, Dr. Ofori said 98% of insurance companies have recapitalized. One company has undergone acquisition, while two have merged.
Before the recapitalization, most of the companies were actually struggling. The protection policy holders have is that their claims will be paid expeditiously. I mean, they are dealing with companies that are financially solid and solvent. When we talk about insurance perception, when your claims and their claims are being paid on time, then your perception of insurance will be high.
Dr. Ofori said the Commission is looking at integrating the issuance of the ECOWAS Brown Card into the digitalization of the motor insurance database. He urged policyholders to demand for the ECOWAS Brown Card whenever a motor insurance policy is purchased.
It covers you when you drive into someone's country, and it also has protection when someone visits Ghana and runs into your vehicle or you're involved in an accident with this person. We have a secretariat in Ghana and also in other West African countries that actually oversee the claims process to make sure that claims are paid expeditiously and are investigated well.
On the outlook, NIC says it will review its performance over the past 4 years regarding the MID and come up with a strategic plan to address the issues and also intensify public education on insurance.
Let's see how the Forex and commodity boards fared for today. QNet brought you the business news. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to the energy segment. My name is Dominic Onoji. The Coalition of Stakeholders on Electricity Contracts and Arrangement, COSECA, says it is concerned about what it termed undue political interference in the operation of the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG. It observed that subsidies, non-payment of tariffs by state institutions and political electrification schemes have made it impossible for ECG to determine fair and appropriate tariffs to make the company commercially viable. COSECA believes the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, has failed to address these.
And an increase in utility tariffs, COSECA has analyzed the challenges of the power sector and why the various players are asking for such huge increases in tariffs. The group said problems in the sector are partly due to the long-standing inefficiencies in these companies, usually attributed to low level of investment in new technology, political interference in the affairs of the companies, among other issues. COSECA is also worried about lack of firm and accurate accountability among the players in the energy sector, which created a situation where estimates are bandied about in a way that facilitates poor management, hiding of losses and corruption. COSECA accuses the PURC of being an inefficient regulator. At a news conference in Accra, a member of COSECA, Dr. Steve Mantiao, said the PURC's failure to implement the automatic adjustment formula has piled up the tariff, leading to the demand for an upward adjustment.
PRC must ensure that there is proper accountability, which is the basis for the determination of fair and equitable tariffs. There are too many estimations in the determination of the tariffs. As Ghanaians engage the PRC on the proposals before it, we believe it is important that we also think about how to reform ECG, Ghana Water Company, and the other utilities to be able to improve their efficiency and to deliver affordable services to their customers.
Dr. Mantiao said COSECA will pursue legal action if PURC does not deal with the inefficiencies being passed on to consumers.
Government's poor management of the macroeconomic indicators will always reflect badly on the utilities and will come back to hurt consumers in the form of higher tariffs. This is, however, not the whole story of government's complicity in this matter. In 2018, in what was widely believed to be an instigation by government, the PURC approved a 17.5% reduction in electricity tariffs for household consumers, a further differentiated reduction for non-household consumers, and for special tariff load customers. The move led to huge under-recoveries, which compounded the poor financial position of ECG.
COSECA has been at the forefront in advocating policy interventions to address the energy sector challenges, especially those associated with revenue losses and poor customer service, to secure the best interest of customers.
That's it for the energy segment.
Time now for health, brought to you by Lufat, Tobingo's premium gift to Africa. Pupils of Adenta Community Junior High School in the Greater Accra region have been presented with some hygiene materials. The gesture by the Rotary Club of Accra Airport City forms part of interventions to ensure pupils maintain good personal hygiene during their menstrual period.
Data from the World Bank indicates that 500 million women lack access to menstrual products and facilities for menstrual hygiene management. Moved by these statistics, members of the Rotary Club of Accra Airport City distributed some hygiene materials to girl children of Adenta Community Junior High School in Accra. The idea is to ensure that the girls have access to menstrual hygiene materials so that they can go through the monthly menstruation without embarrassment or stigma. The president of Rotary Club of Accra Airport City, Mrs. Bertha Gatti, said the gesture seeks to equip young ladies with knowledge on good menstrual hygiene and the confidence to go to school during their menstrual period. The headmistress of the Adenta Community Junior High School, Mrs. Francisca Edusaforo, welcomed the initiative and expressed her gratitude to the Rotary Club of Accra Airport City and its partners for the love shown the girls. The girls were shown how to use reusable pads and how to maintain a healthy lifestyle during and after menstruation. Rotary!
That's it for Hill, brought to you by Lufat, Tobingo's premium gift